What is up everyone, Movie Wayne back again with another top 10 list. Now recently on my channel I reviewed all the Scream movies and it just got me thinking, what other movie franchises do I like? So I came up with a top 10 list and I thought it'd be fun just to do a little video. There's a lot of franchises out there lately and you know, there's a lot of different tastes that people have, but these are my personal top 10. I'm not saying they are the best 10 franchises out there, they're just personal to me. Now I'm decided to go with movies where there's 3 or more in the franchises. I may have cheated a little bit on one of them, but I will explain why. And they're just movies that are really, you know, have potential to expand or they've already been expanded. You know, an actual franchise, not necessarily a trilogy, but an actual movie franchise. So let's just get on with some honourable mentions, because there was 4 that I wanted to put in the list, but I just couldn't quite fit them in. Okay guys, just a few honourable mentions before I get into the top 10. First is going to be Die Hard. Now, I grew up with this franchise. I love the first 3 movies to death. But the last 2 just left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I feel like Bruce Willis has lost his way with the John McClane character, especially going by the 5th movie. And there's another action franchise in here that I do prefer these days. So that's why Die Hard didn't quite make it into the list. But the first 3 movies are fantastic. We also have Halloween. There's 2 other horror franchises in here that I do prefer to Halloween, unfortunately, but Halloween is a franchise still going, and we have Halloween Kills supposedly coming out in October. I don't know if that'll happen now, but Halloween's a great slasher series, and Michael Myers is a great character. Just didn't quite fit into the top 10. We also have Alien. I mostly love the first 2 movies. I like the 3rd. Everything after that, I'm not a big fan of. But there is potential to rectify that and make Alien great again. I really hope they do. Maybe even James Cameron coming back. Maybe it's a bit late for that, but who knows. He's busy with Avatar now. And the last one here is Star Wars. Now, a lot of people would have Star Wars in their number 1, and I'm sorry I haven't put it in, guys, but I do plan on rewatching all the Star Wars movies and reviewing them on the channel. And maybe if I do this list again in a couple of years' time, because lots of movies are going to come out by then, and I might have changed my mind a little bit, maybe Star Wars will be in there. But I appreciate most of those movies. They're all very solid and good movies. They're just, personally, not my personal favourites, but let's just get on with the top 10. Coming in at number 10, guys, it's going to be Mission Impossible. This is the action movie franchise that I sort of prefer now to Die Hard, and if you'd have asked me a couple of weeks ago, I probably would have put Die Hard in instead. But I recently watched Rogue Nation and Mission Impossible Fallout, and I just thought they were 2 of the best action movies I had ever seen. But the first 4 before that are still very, very good action movies, you know. The first one is a little bit, but I just thought they sort of get better as they go on. But I do plan on rewatching all of these and talking about them on the channel at some point. And I just think Tom Cruise is really, really growing on me as an actor now. I've ordered a lot of Tom Cruise movies this month because after watching them, I just want to see more of him. I just think he's a great actor. Throwing Rebecca Ferguson into this franchise too was a fantastic idea. She's just such a great character. And Tom Cruise has actually signed up for Mission Impossible 7 and 8. So this franchise is still going. And I am so totally down for that. So number 10 is Mission Impossible. Number 9 is going to be Toy Story. When you think of Disney Pixar, the first one that comes into most people's heads is going to be Toy Story. It's their, you know, famous franchise that really got them going. And there's too many great characters in here to not carry on, I feel. I mean, I thought 3 was a perfect ending, but when I seen 4 and they brought this new tale with these characters about, I just thought, you know what, I want more of this now. I think they should make a 5. You know, this is a great franchise to expand on. It feels like it shouldn't be left now. I want more of this, and especially with the animation they do these days on the character, it just looks fantastic. All of these Toy Story movies are solid. From 1 to 4, they're all enjoyable, and people of all ages really appreciate these movies, like myself. You know, and I was a kid when I first started watching them, but as an adult, I still love them. And I think Toy Story 3 is probably the best animated movie of all time, in my opinion, from what I can think of right now, at the top of my head anyway. So yeah, number 9, guys, is Toy Story. Number 8 is going to be probably the biggest movie franchise in the world right now, and it is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's 23 movies here, guys, and I've had fun with every single one of them. To do that is something special. You know, they're just the humour they have in there, the emotion, the characters, the fun you have with these movies. It's just all so good. It's a great feeling when you go and watch a Marvel movie. You know, like Captain Marvel I went to see and I come out smiling. You know, Spider-Man I just came out smiling. They just make you have a good entertaining time. And you know, it's going to be carrying on into phase 4. There's so much potential. And I think Marvel, or should I say Disney, have created something in cinematic history here. It's a landmark in cinema. Whether you like Marvel or not, you can't deny that they have done something special here. You know, with the money they make and everything. So yeah, number 8 is going to be Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 7 is going to be the Chucky franchise, or the Child's Play franchise if you like. I just think Chucky is a fantastic villain. You know, you hate to love him because you can't deny the fact that he's such a likeable character, even though he's this evil doll. But he's just so likeable, and you know, if you like slasher movies, Chucky does it so well. There's so many great kills, you know, so many great one-liners as well by Chucky. Brad Dourif is the perfect voice for him. And even the remake, even though Brad Dourif wasn't in there, I still enjoyed the remake. You know, it's a consistent franchise, Chucky. There's only really one movie in there that I really disliked, and it's not See the Chucky, by the way. It was the Cult of Chucky. And yeah, I just have fun with all these movies. Chucky's having fun in the movies and you're having fun with him. I really love it. And maybe a little bit of nostalgia attached here, but I actually rewatched all these movies last year in preparation for the remake, and I still enjoyed them to this day. So number 7, guys, is going to be the Chucky franchise. Coming in at number 6, guys, is going to be Spider-Man. Yes, I know this is tied a little bit to the MCU, but there was 3 movies that came before that, I think. Yeah, Spider-Man 1 to 3, the Sam Raimi trilogy, and you know, even if Spider-Man goes from the MCU and Sony does its own thing with it, this can still be expanded on. And don't forget, we have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I hope they do more animated movies of this. But I just think Spider-Man's a great comic book hero, and Tom Holland is perfect for the role here as Peter Parker. And I'm not going to lie, my favourite MCU movie is actually Spider-Man Homecoming. I was so hyped for Far From Home, and there is talk. Well, it isn't talk, I think it's sort of been confirmed that the 3rd one is going to carry on with Tom Holland in the MCU. So I just love any time a Spider-Man movie comes out. I just think they've got great villains, but it's mainly Spider-Man as a hero that just makes these movies with his humour, and you know, it's just an entertaining ride every time you see one of these. Even Spider-Man 3 from the Sam Raimi trilogy, it's still an enjoyable film. So number 6, guys, is Spider-Man. Number 5 is going to be Terminator. Yes, the first 2 are by far the superior movies in this franchise. I grew up with them. You know, I have so much nostalgia. They're both in my top 20 movies of all time. But I even thought Dark Fate was actually a good movie. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of mixed feelings with that film, but I really enjoyed it. I thought the villain was great. But the movies in between aren't too bad. There's only really been one that I really disliked, which is Genesis. But when I go back to Terminator 3, I frowned upon it when it came out. I hated it. But looking back now, I can sort of appreciate what it's trying to do, apart from all the comedy in there, of course. Salvation isn't bad, but I just think if they do another one on top of Dark Fate, I will be right up for that. There's potential to carry on with this series, or even if they remake the Terminator, with Dwayne Johnson maybe, who knows. He just looks the guy who should play the Terminator on big ears. But you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger brought something to this character, and you know, he's just one of the most famous characters in movie history. He just makes most of these movies. He's in nearly all of them. But I just think it's a solid franchise that I've always loved, and I'll always go out my way to see Terminator. So yeah, number 5, guys, is Terminator. Okay guys, some of you might think I cheated here. I don't at all, and it is Lord of the Rings, but let's just call it the Middle-earth franchise, because we do have the Hobbit movies as well. But I just think Lord of the Rings trilogy is probably the best trilogy of all time. But when the Hobbit movies came out, I really enjoyed them too. And I just thought Peter Jackson made cinematic history here. It's a cinematic masterpiece, Lord of the Rings. And, you know, there's talk of a Netflix show carrying it on. I would be so down for that. You know, it could be the highest made TV show ever. I think it was talking about 250 million to make it. I hope Peter Jackson directs that. But, you know, there's just so many great characters, so many great little stories going on. It's not just Frodo with the ring, there's all separate little things going on that intertwine with that. I just think it's a perfect trilogy, but, you know, a perfect franchise to actually build upon as well. So I hope they carry it on and, you know, do little stories on different parts of Middle Earth and stuff. I just love it. You know what, as well, these movies are so long. I always go for the extended versions, but if they just come on TV, I could still watch them even though they're like 3 hours long. So yeah, Lord of the Rings has to be in there. Number 3 is going to be the Rocky franchise, guys. Now, Rocky Balboa is, to me, probably the greatest hero in movie history. You know, you feel like you've been there his whole life with him. From when he was the underdog, to when he was the champion, to when he's retired. And then in the later movies where he's, you know, the Creed's mentor, you know, it's a nostalgic series for me, but, you know, I think most people would agree that the Rocky movies are great. You know, everyone has a good time with them. You always feel great after them as well. And I listened to a podcast called Chat and Flicks, and they were talking the other day about feel-good movies, and Rocky got mentioned, and I totally agree with them. It makes you feel so good after watching these Rocky movies. You know, I just love Rocky Balboa as a character. And even the Creed movies, you know, a lot of people look down and said, oh, it's just a money maker, but they are solid films, and maybe even a Creed 3 will come. I would be definitely down for that. So number 3, guys, is Rocky. Number 2 is going to be the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Now, some of these movies aren't the best, but I totally have respect for each movie trying something different. You know, not really all of them are the same. There's something different in all of them. Apart from Freddy's Dead, though, I don't really despise any of these movies. You know, I have fun with most of them, or nearly all of them, in fact. And I am praying they bring Freddy back to the big screen. Whether it's a remake, whether it's a continuation, whether they retcon all the sequels, we need Freddy back in cinemas. He is the greatest slasher villain of all time, in my opinion. And there's just so many good things about these movies, you know. I grew up, this is what got me into horror. Freddy is the guy who got me into horror, and I just want him back so bad. So, you know, I just love these movies, I do, and I can't wait to go back and revisit them on my channel and talk about them and rank them and stuff. I will do that one day, can't wait for that. But yeah, number 2 is going to be the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Number 1, guys, is going to be my greatest comic book hero of all time, and that is Batman, or the Batman franchise. Look, from the 60s when we got Batman and Robin, all the way through the Tim Burton and the Christopher Nolan to the later ones, apart from Batman vs Superman, which I just hate, and we've got the new one coming out, and, you know, there's so much potential for this franchise. Look, if DC just decided to do a Batman universe where it's all taking place in Gotham with all these great villains, I think that could totally work. Even if they do movies without Batman, but it's just basically on the villains, but all in the one universe, I just think that a lot of fans would be on board for that. And, you know, The Dark Knight for me is just one of the greatest films of all time. What Nolan done with that trilogy was just fantastic. The original Batman with Michael Keaton is a movie I used to watch on repeat all the time as a kid. You know, you got Batman Returns. Now, there's a couple of bad movies in there, like I said, Batman vs Superman, Batman and Robin. But, you know, Batman is just... the sky's the limit for that character. You know, he's been going since the 40s, is it? When the first comic come out, or the 30s even. So, you know, I just think there's so much potential there to carry this on. And from what I've seen, mostly that's been made, I still enjoy 90% of it. And, you know, even the Joker movie... could that be classed in this franchise? I suppose a little bit. You know, Bruce Wayne is in that movie and it's all based in Gotham. So, you know, there's just so much they can do with it, and I really hope that DC get their act together and do something with this. But yeah, number 1, guys, is Batman. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this top 10 franchise list. I really had fun doing this. Maybe I'll do a top 10 trilogies or something like that. If you've got any ideas, let me know. I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. And if you want to subscribe for more, please feel free. It's up to yourself. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy. See you later.